Phineas and Ferb is an original cartoon on Disney Channel created by Dan Povenmire, you know, that guy who used to work on SpongeBob and Family Guy, and Jeff Marsh. What isn't known about the series is that both creators widely hate Disney's monopoly, and the show's real concept goes beyond just a children's cartoon. An episode about Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz's real concept was produced secretly by a good part of the staff who ran the risk of being fired without thinking twice, even the original voice actors. The episode leaked of where they kept it by an anonymous who uploaded it on a little trendy cartoon forum. That day my computer was doing an annoying noise like if it were a whisk. My big brother insisted to check it up or the CPU was going to literally burn up. Anyway, I got into the forum where the thread posted by a relatively new user posted the lost episode. I had some time to download it before having to go to my grandparents' house. We got back at 1 o'clock in the morning. As soon as I got home, I started the episode, and as expected, my computer kept making that noise. The episode is called The Horrible Death of Phineas, and according to the summary, this is an alternative episode to the one where they're caught and they're sent to Smile Away summer camp. In this episode, it is known as a common Phineas and Ferb episode. It's cheerful, nice, cute, and it begins with Phineas and Ferb having Isabel's troop help them pimp up the car to make it fly, and to build the airport tower. This time there was a huge crowd present to witness this masterpiece. Meanwhile, Perry the Platypus is called by Major Monogram to fight Doofenshmirtz, but it doesn't sound funny or anything. He tells Perry that he must stop him, but doesn't explain why. Once he goes to stop Doofenshmirtz at his headquarters, the doctor explains that he's truly fed up of being treated like that. All his plans go wrong, and he's planning to kill everyone using a real atomic bomb. Doofenshmirtz draws a real gun and opens fire against Perry, who is forced to run away. He can't fight him where he's holding a weapon. The gun is able to hurt. It makes holes in the layers of walls and ceiling. His escape follows with a total, complete, demented, and cruel red-eyed Doofenshmirtz, who had an angry expression, which was rather terrifying and scary. He had gone mad. He chased Perry during a short but sadistic sequence. Perry is almost killed, but luckily manages to dodge the shots. When they get to Phineas's backyard, Candace drags Linda to see Phineas and Ferb's invention, as in every episode. When Phineas walks towards his mother to show her the flying car, but in that exact same moment, Doofenshmirtz opens fire and Perry dodges the bullet. A slow motion sequence is shown how he accidentally shoots Phineas, and when it hits him, everything turns black and white, and hide and seek by a Mogan heap plays. Phineas is laying on the lawn, but with a puddle of his own blood drawn in the habitual Phineas and Ferb style. The video goes back to the colors when Phineas is on the lawn, and it is noticeable a bright red puddle of blood. The crowd glares horrified at Doofenshmirtz, and the scene cuts abruptly after showing Phineas laying over a puddle of his own blood, staring at the sky. This is where Act 1 ends. Act 2 starts with a funeral, and now everything seems extremely depressing. The mortuary is mostly black and is stained glass windows, which enlightens the room, or a depressing monochrome tone. Candace, Linda, Lawrence, and Ferb look very forlorn. The Explorer Troop laments as well, and the camera focuses during 2 insufferable minutes on Isabella crying inconsolably. It sounded real, as if her voice actress was actually crying to make the scene. Candace was in extreme grief and regrets about this, while furiously hitting Phineas's coffin, crying that this wouldn't have happened if she didn't try to catch them. Act 2 cuts abruptly to black. Act 3 begins with a label saying 2 days later, on which Phineas's house is seen from the outside, but it's cloudy and gloomy. Candace is in her room extremely stressed with a rigid smile and hanging a rope on the ceiling while humming the Beatles song Yellow Submarine. Jeremy happily enters the house through the backyard. He goes to the kitchen and after offering his condolences to Linda, he asks for Candace. Linda happily tells him that she's upstairs. When Jeremy enters the room, he sees with horror that Candace hung herself and died a few minutes ago. Jeremy takes down the corpse and passionately kisses it. Then Linda enters the room to see if everything is alright, and after seeing this, he screams, "Jeremy, how could you?" thinking that Jeremy choked her to death. After that, we cut to a scene where both Phineas's parents, Ferb, Isabella, Baljeet, Buford, Doofenshmirtz's ex-wife, Charlene, his daughter, Vanessa, Major Monogram, Carl, and Perry are in a prison's electric chair room with Doofenshmirtz in it. All of them have twisted and sick smiles with the purest, unhealthiest, sadistic joy. He begs for mercy, but Major Monogram orders to proceed with the execution. Perry smiles in a sick and morbid way. He switches on the chair right before his death. A sequence of real photos can be seen, showing a man wearing a lab coat and a little girl playing and walking in the park. Although these actors don't look like Doofenshmirtz and Vanessa, they clearly represent them. After that, the last thing he sees is Vanessa kissing passionately with her mother. It was so disgusting that I puked on my keyboard. Doofenshmirtz finally dies brutally electrocuted in a slow, lethal voltage to lengthen his suffering. At the end, Ferb says something like, "Irony is cruel, but not as much as hell." The episode ends with Doofenshmirtz's lifeless body being thrown in a pile of decaying corpses, among which Jeremy's is still fresh. The next morning, I looked again for the episode. Google shown among other undesired results. The same forum, but the user was banned and the file possibly no longer exists.